Alrighty. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello. Bam. Zoom in on my face. Alrighty. There we go. We got it. It's a miracle. Miracle. Hello, everybody. I'm sure we're here doing fine. Cool. Very good. Alright. I'll wait for a few minutes and have people come on by. How we doing, everybody? Hopefully you're all there. Hey, there we go. How you doing, Tal? I'm doing good, my dude. I'm doing good. It's been pretty chill. Good, good, my friend. I'm just waiting. Gonna be waiting for a couple minutes while people get their stuff together. I know I came on a little late, so that's fine. How was your weekend there? Alright, here we go. Had to take care of that. Good, what you end up doing? Working on the AE86, respect. Ivan, how are you, my dude? How are you? I gotta know something, Tal. I gotta know how much it costs you to buy that AE86. How much did it run you? Because, I mean, they're so hard to find. I'm doing very well, my friend. I'm doing very, very well. Uh, I had a lot of problems with the stream this morning, but $1,900, man, sign me up. Holy smokes, $1,900. Wow, $1,900. That is really good. That is incredible. I don't know how somebody sold that for $1,900, but damn, that's really good. They gave it away, yeah, no kidding, right? I mean, that's a legendary car. Shoot. I gotta show you this page, right? Like, look at this page. Look at this page right here. Here's how ridiculous $1,900 is. Look at this nonsense. Look at these prices. To get even a remotely close one, it could cost you upwards to $22,000, $25,000, $10,000. I mean, 6,800 if it's not the greatest condition. I mean, geez Louise. You got a bargain bin and then some. Damn. So impressive. Very well done. Very, very, very well done. Well, that's exactly. They didn't know what they had in their hands. They had no idea what they had in their hands. I mean, they could have gotten so much more for that, but well, that's what happens when you don't watch Takumi run down the Hakone Highway. You get an AE86 Trueno, the legitimate one. Oh, you just can't buy like a car like that. That man, look at that. No, you gotta get like the full length car, not like some Hot Wheels stuff. Forget that. All right. How's everybody else doing here in the chat? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? How are we doing today, everybody? Are we doing okay? Your dad owned 3 so far. Wow, holy cow. Your dad was just as obsessed. Respect. When you find a car you like, you gotta keep going with it. I mean, even if I crashed my Sentra, I'm like, I gotta get another Sentra. And then I got another Sentra after that Sentra. So, it's like you're gonna find that car that just kind of meshes with you. Like, if I were to choose, I could go get another Sentra, or I could go get a, Honda Civic. I love Honda Civics, you know. Or if I were to go the new route, then maybe like the Corolla or, whatever. So, I mean, Camry's pretty good, pretty solid. Well, I ain't gonna complain. Alrighty. Alrighty. Hey, Gustavo. I see Diego here. I hope you're doing well, Diego. My mic sounds weird. Everybody's been saying that today, like my mic is really strange. Okay, let me take a look at my settings here. Okay. My mic is strange. Alright, let me try this. How about that? How about this? Does this sound better? No, it's still the same? Okay, hang on. It was fine a second ago. Okay. Alright. Okay, so how about now? Why am I so cute? What the fuck? Toast, my dude. How are you? Okay. Well, I'm trying to get the audio fixed, so let me change this over really quick. Okay. So I just switched it to my camera. How do I sound now? Well, yeah, it's going to be distant because the camera's like right here. I'm far AF. Okay. How about now? I should be less far away, but I'm not distorted, right? Better? Okay. Yeah. Alright, so let me change it back. Alright, so we're gonna try this. Let me change it back from that thing to this thing. Alright, so I changed it back to my headphones. How's that sound now? Yes? Good? Does my voice sound really bad? That sounds weird? Okay, go back to the other one. Oh shit. Still just fuck. Alright. Gonna try this boo. Okay. Okay. Oh. How about now? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Oh, that didn't change anything. What am I doing? Okay. Okay. So I reset the headset. Yeah, how was your test, Toast? Oh, he didn't have one? Oh. I thought he had a... Okay, we good now? Hopefully we're good. Alright, cool. Yeah, I guess it just needed a reset. I think a lot of things need a reset today. My camera needed a reset. This thing needed a reset. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna... It's been like this today, where it's taken me like 15 minutes to get things together for absolutely no reason. But hey, that's life. Oh. No problem. Okay. Nah, that's okay, Sono. You're cool, bro. Alrighty. Wait, still sounds ugly. How the hell do I sound? Okay, now I'm kind of curious. Okay, now I'm kind of curious. How do I sound? I'm kind of curious. How do I sound? I'm kind of curious. Okay, now I understand. I understand. I had to listen to myself, and I was like, oh, yeah, I can see why you guys kind of feel that way. You got detention. I wasn't about to hand out slips to people now. Detention. Ugh. Well, you think you got... Oh, shit. That's pretty bad. No! Okay. Let's see here. I need to change up the, what the heck do I need to do? Yeah, let me see if see if that changes anything. Does that do anything? Does that do better? We good? Yes. You took yes. This thing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Are we okay? Please say we're okay.
Hello, guys.
I'm gonna try something here. Yeah, let me see here. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what's going on. If it sounds different, sorry about that. That's kind of my bee. We'll fix it at some point later when things don't suck. My mic's been kind of... My mic's brand new, so I thought it would work okay. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. All right. Anyway, I'm sure you'll get used to it, I think. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay. All right. Well, Sure. We got to get started though, guys. We're like way behind. Okay, so wait, there's 2 apps using my microphone. What? Oh, camera, yes. The 3D viewer. Why? Why would you do this to me? Okay, yeah, both of these have to be using that. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. Weird. Okay. Oh, it must have been that's weird. The heck? Okay. I don't understand that. But a lot better now? Okay, that's really weird. Like it was just that. Huh. Go figure. Much better than before? Alright. Thank you for thank you for following. I really appreciate it. Alright. Okay, we ready to get started, everybody? Let's go. Okay. Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to Monday. Hopefully everybody have a nice weekend. Alright, so today we're going to go over, actually for the people in the 8-week class, you have 2 more weeks left, and then that's it. It is over. It is done. It is donezo. Alright, so let's talk about, again, this week we're going to be going over chapters 9 and 10. Alright, so we're going to be talking about prisms here today, and then on chapter 10 on Wednesday, we're going to talk about a little bit of basic trigonometry, because, trigonometry is trigonometry. So, yeah, trigonometry. Alright. So let's go ahead and get started with all of Chapter 9 here today. We'll get through the 3 sections here. We're not going to be doing the last section of Chapter 9, which is cones and stuff, cones and frustum of cones. So we're not going to be doing that there. So that section will be skipped, and we'll go right to Chapter 10 off of that. So you should see on the homework there 919293, and that'll be just applicable to that. Okay, are there any questions about homework tests or whatnot before we get going? No? Alright. Just making sure things are chill. So, nothing too crazy. I've been experimenting around. I now have, cool. Look, I have faster internet, so hopefully there are less slowdowns, okay? I have 1 gigabit speed interwebs, right? This is important. It only cost me $10 more to go from 300 to 1,000, so I'm not going to argue with that. It's Toast. He's back. Hey, I gotta ask, how was school today, Toast? All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and get going here with the new stuff. Today we're going to be talking about prisms. All right, let's talk about prisms. What are prisms? What do we do with prisms? Oh, that's good. I'm glad. Hopefully you got a little bit more confidence there, getting that knowledge in. Never a bad thing. All right. The more confidence. Okay. So today we're going to section 9.1, which is about prisms. What are prisms here? Prisms basically are we're going to be looking at 3D shapes, all right, in this particular instance, all right? And we're going to be wanting to do, very similar things that we did in the last chapter there. Specifically, in this particular case, we're going to be talking not just, of course, about we're going to be talking about area, but we're going to talk about specifically surface area and volume. Okay, so we're going to be looking at surface area and volume. And we'll be looking at surface area in two ways. Surface area will be broken down into lateral surface area and just total surface area. All right. So that isn't too bad. There you go. Look, I'll just say this for you, Toast. The way it works like this. When you part of a crew, okay, the crew gotta look out for each other. That's just how it rolls. You know, somebody not doing some nice things at your school, well, I'm gonna be taking a trip out to London for really cheap because airlines are flying nobody these days. I'm gonna be showing up with some of my posse here on this channel, and yes, not a bad thing. Yeah, we got your back just in case. We want everybody to live peacefully as possible. I hate fighting with a passion, but sometimes just, you know, telling people to kindly back off is not a bad thing. Yeah, if I were to go back to 8th grade and stuff and like high school, yeah, I was bullied a lot during those times, so I know how that feels. Okay, so you're from Cardiff, all right, right on. Home of the Bluebirds. There you go. Very sad, by the way, to hear about Emiliano Sala. That was a very sad day. That's good. Right. Okay, let's do some formulas here. All right, we do have to do some formulas here. So let's talk about general rules for right prisms. Okay. Now, Toast. That's not true. That's not true. You got us here, no problem. At least you can count us as part of the group of friends. Look, as far as I'm concerned, and the people who come in this channel, right, at any moment in time, regardless of who you are, you could be a stranger, because I know anybody can come into this channel and say whatever they want and whatever, you know, but at the end of the day, we're all equals here. You have an equal voice as much as anybody else. And it doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter, you know, you got an equal voice here. You know, that's just how it is. I treat everybody equally in here, and that's the way it should be. Nobody's better than everybody else, you know. Some people have more experience than others, but that's what we do. We help other people, you know, who may not have that experience, and hopefully they incorporate that into their own life and make themselves better for it. So, you know, that's what we want to do. So just know that you're amongst friends when you come into this channel. All right. Let's talk about the right prisms here. Now, what are right prisms? Let's take a look here in the book. Okay, so taking a look here in the book and what right prisms look like is basically kind of like this, like a right-sided prism. A prism that kind of stands up just like so. Okay. It could also look like this as well. So again, just as long as it's laying flat in some form or fashion, that's perfectly fine. Again, it has, for right prisms, it has a bottom part here and a top part here that are exactly the same shape. Okay, so this is triangular up here, triangular down here. It's the exact same shape. Same with a cube. It has a square on top, a square on the bottom. Okay, So something to that effect would be considered a right prism. All right? Okay, in any case, let's talk about a little bit more about right prisms. We're going to talk about first the lateral surface area. So, although I just talk about lateral surface area, what is a lateral surface area? The lateral surface area here is going to equal perimeter of the base times the height of the prism. All right, next is the total surface area. So the total surface area basically takes, the lateral surface area just kind of chops off the surface area of the top and the bottom. So if we go back to the book here for a second, okay, that's like if I took off this bottom part and I took off this top part. Since they're the same shape, I'm just lopping off the area of those two sides and just taking away the, just making sure I take the area of the outside here. So if I have a, let's take this for example. So here's a cylinder of water, for example. Okay, I'll take off the bottom part here, and I take off the top part here, and then the lateral surface area is just that area around, just like that. There. All right. Now, all right. Next. So that's basically what lateral surface area here is talking about. Let's talk about the next part. Is total surface area here is going to be the lateral surface area. What is Steam? Steam is probably one of the most popular platforms for acquiring games in the world. Plus 2 times the area of the base. Me? How tall I am? Or how tall Diego is? Finally, there's the volume. The volume here is equal to the area. Okay, so the area of the base of the figure times the height. Oh, okay. Well, I gotta make sure what that is. So, yeah, that's what that is, right? Okay. Yep. There you go. That's how tall I am. It should give you a good idea. Okay, so the volume here is the area of the base times the height. 5'6", you're gonna be taller than me, man. Yeah, you're gonna be tall. You're gonna be so much taller than me. I'm only 5'10", bruh. Like I wouldn't doubt you'd be like 6 feet. Yeah, I'm 5'10", man. I was like 4 foot nothing when I was in 8th grade. I was the shortest kid in my class. No, true story. True story. I was the shortest kid in my class in junior high. I didn't actually start growing until I got into college, so. Yeah, when you get into college, you have a chance. Your thyroid would be like, and you're like, okay, cool. So I was like, cool. All right, got to keep going, guys. We got to keep going. Got stuff we got to do. Let's go. All right. So let's talk about certain things. Okay. Now, if you recall from last time here, guys. All right. You wish you were taller. Okay. Just get some stilts. All right. That's your get your thyroid. Get your thyroid. Can I do it in a British accent? My name. Listen, my name is not Jimmy Carr. Okay, I don't wear fancy vests and sound like I have to put up my pinky every time I go on a comedy show pretending that I'm actually funny. Only I am because I just make your mom jokes about every 3 seconds. There you go. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. All right. Look, I've watched a lot of episodes of 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, okay? I can't really argue with that, you know. I had to see the episode where Lee Mack actually proved, Jimmy Carr wrong by actually spelling out the word steadings as his 9-letter word. I mean, that was a miracle within itself. And the amount of saltiness on John Richardson's face is quite remarkable. So okay, I do have to keep moving on, guys. So let me I got to finish up this material here. All right. Okay, so let's talk about how we can find lateral surface area and total surface area and volume here. So the thing is that you need to know how to find the area of, say, a triangle, an area of a circle, or an area of a trapezoid. Okay, all those things. 41. You were close though. So thing is that so let's put a note here. Note. So you need to know the formulas for areas of triangles, circles, trapezoids, rectangles, squares. Let's see, what else am I going to make you do? I think those are the ones that I probably would want to focus you on. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So we actually talked about those in the last chapter there, so we're going to be using that here once again for this chapter as well. So you can see things that are kind of bleeding over from what we talked about before. But since we're also talking about volume, I'm going to go here to the book here once again and show off a particular page. There's a very important page that you do need to make note of, so I want to show that off here. And so that's here on page 616, where we have a conversion of units here on the bottom in this blue box. So some questions may ask you to convert from one unit to another, whether it be 1 cubic foot to gallons or cubic inches. Okay, whether it be 1 cubic yard to cubic feet. Okay, regardless of whatever they ask you in that problem, you have those conversions that we talked about. And this is how we go ahead and change those over. Because since now we're including volumetric units, well, now here you go. We have all those set and ready to go. Remember, we don't need to memorize it. We just need to use it for whatever purposes we need to use it for. So let's put that as another note here. Note number 2. Use the conversion chart. On page 616. Okay. as a reference for some problems. Okay, so there you go. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at some examples here about how we can solve for these volumes and lateral surface area and stuff like that. So we'll see exactly how this works out, and yeah, it won't be too bad. Now the first one I'm going to do here, okay, I want to be sure we're doing that one correctly. All right, perfect. Alrighty, so this is the first problem here. We're going to do number 5. Okay, so number 5 is probably one of my favorite problems to do because it's actually one of the most realistic ones. Can you see the notes? Yes, sorry, apologies. I'll put this on half the page and you can see the notes on the other half there. There you are. Okay, there you go. Hopefully that helps a bit. Nah, no worries. All right, so we're going to look at this little pool construction here. All right, so here it's asking us the problem here. So we're just going to use this figure that you see. So let's take a good look here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go at the other side. That's probably better. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's look at problem 5. If you can see the picture here, which may be a little hard. I'm actually having a hard time with this. Oh, where did my cursor go? Actually, shrink it down a bit. Okay. Sorry about that. Ah! All right. Perfection can't be. Perfection is so hard. Okay. So number 5 says, how many gallons of water are needed to fill a swimming pool that approximates the shape in this figure? So one of the most realistic exercises that you'll find is number 5. So let's say you build a pool, and you need to figure out, well, how many gallons do I need to put in a pool of such and such dimensions? So in this particular pool, it's not just a flat one. In this case, it has a shallow end to a deep end. Okay, so again, a pretty long pool here. This would be like a community pool of some type. So so this is going to be 3D shapes here. So you'll see how this works out, Toast. It's not too bad, but it just has to go slow, one step at a time. Okay, so the question really becomes, in this case here, if we look at this shape, okay, of this pool, all right? Now we need to find the volume of this pool. So if we go back to our volume here, remember volume according to our notes here, specifically is going to be, again, our area of the base times the height. Okay, so the area of the base times the height. So the question really is that, all right, well, what is the area of the base times the height? How do we find this? How do we find this thing? Exactly what's this area of the base that you're referring to? Okay, that's fair. That's a fair test. Yeah, easy till the test comes in. You got that right. All right. Now, in this case, though, the area of the base is a little bit different. What type of shape do we have here in this case for this pool? What type of shape is this pool? What's the first thing you see in an emergency but only see it twice in your lifetime? Like life and death? Probably life. Death. Okay. All right. I need a serious answer to this question, though. No problem. I'm always sus. All right. So, what kind of shape do we have here in problem 5? Does anybody can tell me what shape is the swimming pool? A triangle? Not quite. It looks close, but look, if you look really close here, it does kind of look like a triangle. I'm not going to disagree. But there's a little part here that kind of rectangulates out here. A trapezoid. That is correct. And this is not a rectangle. Now, the reason why this is not a rectangle is because this actually goes at an angle all the way down to the deep end of the pool. The actual answer here actually is a trapezoid. This is a trapezoid here. Again, a trapezoid can take the picture of, okay, you can have a rectangular bottom and a rectangular top here, and you have some kind of flat side, or again, two flat sides that kind of angle down here. So it has one flat side and one angled side. But this, if you actually, stand it up, that would actually be a trapezoid. That would be absolutely correct. Now, that could be a little bit tough to look at. I'm not going to disagree, but it's important for us to put it into that context, because then we can see exactly how to find the area of this particular trapezoid. Now, the way we do that here is, let's get our little paint tool out. The way we're going to do that here is we're going to take the area of this rectangle down here, and we'll take the area of this rectangle down here, okay? So this rectangle down here, so remember the area of a trapezoid, is going to be base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2. And we're going to multiply that by the height. So we talked about this last time in the last chapter. So the real question is, okay, what is base number 1? What would be base 1 there? What do you think? 28. 28 is the depth here of this pool. Yeah, so this one here is okay, I'll admit, this one here is a little tricky, but that's why it's really interesting here. I want you to take a look at the length, the widths of these rectangles, okay? Like this one here looks like, if I talk about the big base here, that's 9, all right? That's the width of this rectangle. What's the width of the smaller rectangle? The smaller rectangle? No, that's the. All right. I know this is going to be a little tough, but that's okay. That's why we're covering this properly. So that's going to be 3. So let's just talk about the big base plus the small base is going to be 3. So we got 9 and 3 respectively. I'm going to divide that by 2. Now the height here, I'm going to definitely agree with you guys. All right, 100%. The height here in this case is going to be 75. That's the height of this particular pool. All right, so that's the height there. Now all we have to do is take the last part. That's the area here, I should say. So we get 12 divided by 2 times 75. So that's 6 times 75. So that should equal 450. Now with the 450, that's the area of the trapezoid there. But we have to, since we have a depth, we have a, again, the way the depth works because of the perspective we're looking at here, that depth now is going to be 28 feet. Okay, so that's 28 feet here. So what we need is we need the volume of the figure, so we have to include the depth of that. So that is going to be 28 feet as the depth of this pool. So anybody got an answer here for 450 times 28? We're going to take that into account now. $450 times 28 is, you guys can do that on the calculator there. 12,600 is correct. Good. So at this point here, let's talk about what we have here, which is not that. Sorry. So we have 12,600. Now specifically here, that's correct. You did get it. Absolutely. So let's talk about 12,600 and what this represents. So this is the important part of the problem here. So each of the dimensions you see in the picture represent feet. So because we multiplied feet times another feet, then what we have here specifically is we have cubic feet as our volume here of this particular pool. Now because of that fact, what we want to do is remember the question here. Remember the question here. The question asks, how many gallons of water are needed to fill this swimming pool? So we know how many cubic feet of water we need. We just need to know how many gallons reflects 12,600 cubic feet worth of water. So this is where that page that I talked about earlier is going to come into play. This is why it's super handy. So I'm going to go back to page 616 here. Okay. And now we're going to use that conversion chart that we had from before, and we want to convert cubic feet into gallons. Okay, so we're going to convert cubic feet into gallons to see how many gallons of water we need to fill this pool up. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our conversions here. Okay, so which conversion are we going to use on this list? Which one do we want to do, and how are we going to figure out how many gallons we need at the end of the day? What do you think we should do here? Division, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea, but maybe not quite the thing here. 1 cubic foot is 7.48 gallons. It's true? Okay. So I want to convert cubic feet into gallons, right? So let's put our initial amount here, 12,600 cubic feet. We're going to go back to chapter 5, where we did conversions, right? So we have 12,600 cubic feet over 1. That's right. So that's why it's not division, Toast. That's why it's actually multiplication. Let me show you why. See, we can do division via multiplication, but we want to be smart about our multiplication. So don't forget here, since we know that 1 cubic foot is 7.48 gallons, we want gallons to remain as our unit here. So we put gallons on top and the cubic feet on the bottom. This way, when we know, our units will be left over because cubic feet will cancel out. We go 1 cubic foot on the top and 1 cubic foot on the bottom. So those conversions we talked about a while ago, yeah, they still play a role as what we talked about from before. Now just on the calculator here, we do 12,600 times 7.48, and we're going to get our amount of gallons that we want there at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we get. 94 to 48? All right, I'm going to work with that. All right. So 94,248 gallons of water. So in reality, not a whole lot. Okay, any questions about that? Actually, be surprised. 94,000 gallons is actually fairly small. It sounds like a lot, but when you compare it to other places that no. I mean, the pool is rather big, that's for sure. But yeah, if that's the size of the pool, sure, I can understand that. But if it's like anything else, 94,000 gallons, you like compare it to the ocean, or you like how that. All right, let's look at another one here. That's not the one I wanted to do there. Okay, that one's the one I want to do though. Okay, so next is going to be number 10. You're good, dude. All right. Okay. So we're going to look at number 10 here. Okay. So it says, find the weight of the steel V block in the figure if its density is 0.0173 pounds, all right, per cubic centimeter. Okay. So here's our V block shape, and we want to just find out, how heavy it is with these particular dimensions in centimeters. Okay, so, not too bad. All right. Now let's take a look here at this particular problem, and we'll see how things work out. Okay. So let's look at probably the best way to kind of tackle a problem like this in this figure. Oops, actually I still need the figure. So the best way we can tackle this problem is we can tackle this from a couple of different ways. As you can see here in the picture, you can see that it does tell you one way that you can tackle this, and that is you can kind of split it up into two parts. So you could have like a part down here that is kind of the rectangular metal piece, or you have two trapezoidal pieces. Now that's one way you can kind of do that, is just kind of split it apart one piece at a time. However, in this particular case, there's actually an easier way to do it, and that actually is also given to us by this hint of 8. As you can see here in this figure, the way that this figure is actually shaped out, you notice that before you made the cut, this shape was a perfectly rectangular metal brick. All right, that's what it was. Okay, it was a perfectly shaped rectangular brick. So what you should be able to do is find the entire volume of this particular figure, and then you can see exactly what you cut out, because as you see what you cut out here, it's triangular in shape. So we shouldn't have too much of a hard time to find that volume as well for the area that we cut out. So that's going to be our goal here. That's going to be our strategy for this problem. So we're going to take, again, two pieces here. The first piece will be the rectangular block. And then we're going to take away the triangular cut. Okay, so let's look at the rectangular block. We're going to find that volume here first. Okay, so the volume here for the rectangular block is going to be, again, the area of our base So as you can see here, we have length times width times height. Okay, so that's the volume here. Length times width times height is the area of the base times the height of the figure. Okay. And so in this case here, the length here is going to be 24. The height here is going to be 15. So as you see here in the back, 15 centimeters. And then we also have the height. We also have the 48 to be our height here. Okay. So we have 24 times 15 times 48. I mean, look, quarantine, bruh. Did you use did you use protection for yourself? I mean, you have to protect yourself. That's very important, okay? Protection is the #1 thing. If you happen to get a, not so great disease, then I can't really help you there. You should have used better quality watching material. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, bro. Anybody got an answer for me here? 24 times 15 times 48? Twenty-four times 15 times 48. Don't worry about it, Toast. 17,280. Okay. All right. So here's a question for you, Quarantine. Would you say the quality thank me later? 20 times 15? Sadness. If only that were true. Wow, I didn't know it was a race to the finish. Oh. God. I couldn't help it, okay? I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I had to say it. I had to say it. Okay? I had to say it. Okay? It was just out there. It was out there. I had to do it. I had to do it. When you give me that easy, I still love you, Quarantine. Okay, I still love you, but you left me an opening like a Mack truck wide. I had to take the opportunity. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you that wasn't that was mean. I'm not gonna lie. That was mean. That was legitimately bad. Okay. This is true. I'm not gonna. I'm sure. I'm sure you see the rings right now. Bask in the glow. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. You got to be yourself. You gotta be yourself. But I'll tell you one thing, Quarantine. Okay, let me explain how this goes. Okay, this always goes the same way for me. If I diss you that hard, you come back and you got the you come back at it. That's not a problem. I have to get as much as I give. That's only fair. It can't be a one-way thing, because you'd be mad and be like, no, you can't criticize me or insult me that bad. Like, nah, it's gotta go. It's a two-way street here. Wow, you're already done, Gustavo? Oh, Gustavo, don't leave me. All right. Gustavo, we're not even done yet, buddy. Or do you gotta go to work? See you, Gustavo. All right, we gotta keep going here with the. All right. Oh, okay, thank goodness. I was so worried. I'm like, you gonna leave? Like, no, why? What did I do? No, I can't leave. All right. All right. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the second piece, the triangular cut. Let's talk about that. So, okay, remember for the area for a triangle here, is going to be base times height divided by 2. Okay, so let's not forget about that part there. All right. All right. So can anybody tell me here, what would be the base of this triangular cut here in the middle? What would we have? Okay. What's the base of this triangular cut here? Let's get back on track, guys. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, 12, the base of this cut right here, if you take a look carefully at this picture. Not exactly 12 here. Remember, that's from here to here. Yes, that'd be the 15. So that's what this 15 represents here from end to end on the cut. That represents the base of that triangle there. All right. So sometimes it's just like a matter of just kind of fleshing out the perspective there. The base of the triangular cut. What's the height of the triangle? What's the height of the triangle according to the picture? The height of the triangular cut. So look carefully at the picture. What is the height of the, that's cool, that's cool. What's the height of the triangular cut according to the picture here? Correct. That's correct, Ivan. The correct answer is 8. So that's what that 8 is there for. If you see the 8 right here, that is from here to the very top of that figure. That represents the height of that triangular cut. So that's the kind of the very important purpose of having that. Okay, so this is equal to 60. You can do that on a calculator. It's pretty simple. You'll get 60 there. And then you're going to take that 60, and then you're going to multiply it by the depth of the cut here, which as you can see is 48. So it's still the same 48 centimeters that we have here. We're just going to take that 60 and multiply it by 48, which is the depth of that triangular cut. So 60 times 48. What do we get here? What do we get here? 60 times 48. 2880. All right, so that's perfectly fine. If you take 2880. So now that was the amount of material we took out from this metallic block. Okay, so we're going to take 17,280 minus 2880. All right, and what do we get here? $14,400. Okay, good. So we got 14,400. Now that is going to be the volume of this particular piece. So again, that's going to be cubic centimeters. However, as you can see here, we do have one more step. We need to go ahead and multiply by the density of the actual material, which in this particular case is 0.0173 pounds per cubic centimeter. So that's the last thing that we're going to do here in this instance, is we're going to take the 14,400, we'll multiply it by 0.0173. That was right. Yeah, it was. Okay. And that's going to be pounds per, again, cubic centimeter. So we have this as cubic centimeters over here. So these will cancel out, leaving us with pounds at the end of the day. And we're going to get our answer here. So let's go ahead and multiply and see what we get for our answer. All right. So we got 249.12. Okay, good. What did I put? Oh, no wonder. Okay. Yep. All right. Good stuff. All right, so 249.12 is the correct answer at the end of the day. All right. Any questions about that? Any questions at all? All right. No problem. It's okay. Okay. All right, so that's the first section here on prisms, just kind of getting used to that type of prism there. Now, there are other types of prisms that we're going to look at here in this chapter as well. So let's go ahead and talk about those in section 9.2. Okay. So section 9.2 talks about a particular type of prism. That's what the next couple sections are, talking about particular types of prisms here. So section 9.2 talks about pyramids and frustums of pyramids. Okay. Now, to understand this, I think most of you have probably seen a picture of a pyramid before. It isn't too hard. Again, a pyramid can actually be literally almost anything. But typically, you guys have seen, you know, like the Great Pyramid of Giza or something like that out in Egypt. Those are the most popular one, you know, that pretty much everybody can identify. Let's want to get a picture here. Where is that? There it is. Okay. All right. So the one thing that we need to look at here is maybe they are not all like the Egyptian pyramids. I mean, the Egyptian pyramids are pretty simple, right? You have a kind of a square or rectangular base. Do I teach science? I mean, I am a scientist, just a different type. I know some basic science, but yeah. But you can see here for a pyramid, it can be hexagonal in shape, for example. It could be square in shape. It could be triangular in shape. You could have a triangular pyramid. That's certainly plausible. Okay, so you can have any type of base here, even though the square/rectangular base is the most common. All right, so that's one thing I wanted to point out here is we're dealing with different types of pyramids, although, you know, the most common one is that square one that most people see. So the base can be any shape, okay? So I want to make a note about that because that's usually a misconception. Okay, that's not a problem. I'll be online as always, Toast. So the base here can be any shape. Now, why is that important? Well, because of the fact that the base can be any shape, whether that be triangular, rectangular, okay, hexagonal, whatever the case may be, that does affect our formulas here and how we attack problems like these. Now, as once again here, we're dealing with lateral surface area, total surface area, and volume here. So let's look at lateral surface area here. Again, lateral surface area is just removing the actual bottom of the figure. All right, so we don't want the bottom of the figure here, but the lateral surface area will be equal to this. It'll be equal to 1/2 times the perimeter of the base, and then times, in this case here, what we call the slant height. Okay. So what is the slant height here? Take a look at this picture. The slant height here doesn't go directly from the very top of the pyramid all the way straight down. Instead, it goes on a lateral surface face. So it goes on the face of the pyramid here and goes all the way down and makes a 90-degree angle. So that's the difference between a slant height like this and a direct height like this. They are two different values. Okay. And they'll always be two different values. That will not change. All right, so do keep that in mind. Total surface area includes this lateral surface area, of course. So just to reiterate here, we get, again, 1/2 perimeter of base times the slant height. And then in this case here, we're going to add the area of the base. So in this case here, the area of the base is also added in just because in lateral surface area, you just take away the area of the base. That's pretty much it. You're not doing anything fancy. It is what it is. Let me zoom out a bit here so you can see those notes. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then finally, what's the volume of a pyramid? So the volume of a pyramid here is going to equal, and we're going to state this again, the slant height is the perpendicular distance from the apex. No, not exactly. No. Well, it makes a 90-degree angle with the base, but yeah, not necessarily from the apex. It does form a perpendicular with the base, though. I guess you can kind of call it that if that's what you're interpreting it as. A little confusing, but yeah, that would kind of work if that's the way you want to kind of phrase it. Okay. So the volume here is going to be 1/2 times the area of the base times the height of the figure. All right. Now the height here is what we call the altitude. Okay. So again, here, let's make a note here. All right. Height is from the top straight down. So you can see on the picture here the difference between slant height and the altitude or actual height is from the very top and then going straight down through the figure and making a perpendicular with the base straight down. Okay, so that is about pyramids there. We'll talk about this here in just a second. All right. Now, here's the thing about pyramids, at least the way they work. This is just one type of pyramid. As we talked about, they can have many different bases. They can have many different things. All right, but there's also a second part to this, and we'll talk about that as well, and we'll state some formulas. And we'll say, we'll talk about a frustum of a pyramid. So, okay, have a great one, Toast. You have a wonderful night, buddy. I probably put this here. I'll see you tomorrow, guy. All right. So what is a frustum of a pyramid? What's the definition of a frustum of a pyramid? Basically, it's a pyramid with the top chopped off. Okay. Now, here's the thing. What does a frustum look like? Well, let's take a look at a couple pictures, okay? All right. So first, let's take a look at a pyramid. So everybody has seen the Great Pyramid of Giza, all right? That's the most famous pyramid in the world, all right? So this would be your conventional pyramid that everybody's pretty used to at this point. Okay, so, you know, very, very famous. You know, the Egyptians were very famous for a lot of marvels of engineering, okay? If you weren't aware, the Egyptians were the ones who made staples, all right? They actually used staples in the construction of the Great Pyramid. Actually, at one point, the Great Pyramid was actually topped with gold at one point during its initial construction, which is why they say people can feel electricity inside, because, as you know, gold is an excellent conductor of electricity. So that was there. You know, don't forget that, you know, ancient Egypt at one point was a very fertile land. Okay, it wasn't like full of the Sahara Desert. If you go further back, you know, before the ancient Egyptians, yes, they actually did take the gold out to use in other things. Yeah, so it was topped with gold first, and then they switched it over to limestone. So, yeah, that topping was like, so if you see like the top of the pyramid here, yeah, this like top here was like mostly gold, was all gold, and then they took out the gold to use for whatever they took it for, and then there you go. There's a lot of interesting things about like northern Africa and about how, you know, the Sahara Desert used to be a gigantic forest, you know, and how, you know, when they found like the ancient pyramid, you know, it was buried underneath a bunch of sand and stuff. Like the Sphinx, if you see old pictures of the Sphinx actually was buried all the way up to its neck before they actually excavated it out. So, yeah, the sands of the Sahara are hiding even more secrets than people think. So, it's quite remarkable. Let's see, what else did they do? That was actually rather clever. Aqueducts, yeah, aqueducts made by ancient Egyptians. They were some of the first people to use aqueducts in some capacity. Yeah, it's actually quite remarkable. But the one thing that people should also know about the ancient Egyptians is this pyramid is not the first type of pyramid that ancient Egyptians actually used. The actual thing is that ancient Egyptians, the first set of pyramids that the ancient Egyptians actually used was not the pointy one that we're normally used to. Instead, in actuality, they used a step pyramid. And so you can find these in Egypt as well. And they're littered all over the place. But this was a step pyramid. It's exactly what you think it is. You know, here's here's 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, and then it's flat on the top. This would be a good definition of a frustum of a pyramid. So, like, imagine without the stepping parts, that this is flat all the way up to the top, and then the top here is just kind of cut off, just like so. Okay, so that's the frustum of pyramid, is like the old step pyramids, and then you can see, like, well, what's the new type of pyramids? Well, it's like the Great Pyramid of Giza. They switched from this to the Great Pyramid, and that's what you get. You know, so yeah, each of these structures, of course, serve their own purposes. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things that we could discover. But we can also find out via these type of pyramids, we can find out, say, the area and volume, you know, surface area and the volume and that sort of stuff with this. So that's what we'll do here as well. Nice little history lesson, I suppose. All right. All right. In any case, let's talk about the two things that we'll take a look at here for a frustum of a pyramid. First is the lateral surface area. So the lateral surface area here is going to take two perimeters instead of one. And this is because we have the bottom of the pyramid here and the top of the pyramid both have to be taken into consideration now that they don't meet at an apex. Now they meet on just a flat surface at the very top, which is smaller than the one here on the bottom. So in this case here, it'll be 1/2 times the upper perimeter plus the lower perimeter. Oops. All right, times the slant height. So the slant height here is that case. All right. Now, next, let's also talk about the volume of a pyramid. Yes, it must be aliens, okay? It's always aliens. Ancient astronaut theorists suggest that it must be aliens. No, actually, there is possible proof that they might actually have had access to electricity, just not being able to control it, but actually kind of accidentally discovering it. Yeah, it's the Baghdad battery. So it had a ceramic pot, a tube of copper, and a rod of iron, which is basically, if you pour the correct chemicals into it, will actually produce a small amount of electricity. So this is something that they could have actually had and actually produced electricity with. So yeah, this light bulbs on the walls. Yeah, so it actually could have been something that they actually harnessed, which is very, very interesting. Like, how do you survive in a civilization like that? Well, you know what? Even if it's something you don't completely understand, but if you know how to use it, well then, okay, then you use it, right? They said it's debunked. I don't know. I only look at possibilities. Meh. There's some other theories to suggest that there's possibilities they could have had electricity. Like, again, using gold as the conductor on the top of the Great Pyramid was something different. It was like, because the rest of the pyramid looks, you know, inside is pretty barren. So, you know, there's not a whole lot in there. to be honest. Oh, I'm sorry, Ivan. You put up a link there. You have to be a moderator. I'll make you a moderator. Hang on. Then you can put the link as you like. Here you go. And I'll just unmod you once you put up the link there. Sorry, I'm not as cool as you, DJ. I'm sorry my audio is bad. You know, I don't have like the wubs, you know. Go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like this stuff is really interesting, like for real. Like it wouldn't shock me that some of these hieroglyphics were pretty legit. Am I a professor? Yes, I am. I am. Yes, I am. They somehow gave me a degree, and they're like, there you go, degree. And I'm like, ah, oh, cool, man. You made me a master's degree in mathematics. I was like, oh, cool, that's pretty nice. I worked a little. It was like, okay. I teach at community college, not at uni. But community college is actually tougher than university, so. Although not many people know that. But it's cheaper and better. You get more for your money from community college than you do at university, except the last 2 years. So, like first 2 years of community college, fine. Go to community college. Last 2 years, okay, that's fine. But yeah, the first 2 years, oh man, no. Unless you're doing the trades. If you're doing the trades, go to community college 10 times out of 10. Doing the trades, excellent. Very good. Am I in Canada? No, I'm in the U.S. Though I totally understand what you're probably going to say. The correspondence courses in Canada are very, very good. I really admire the system up there for colleges in Canada because I think they're much more focused. Actually, I better get out math type for that. So I can respect that point of view. I helped a person out in Canada get into, like, in school up there. So I'm pretty comfortable with the process. Oh, okay. All right. Is my mic still trash or no? What am I finding out about the pyramids? Yeah, we're finding out the lateral surface area and the volume of pyramids. That's what we're doing here. No problem. Let's go ahead and do a problem. I think that should be in the works. Why not? If we're talking about it, let's do problems. There you go. All right. Let's go to page 633. All right. Me, I have hella questions? Okay. You got questions, let's ask. All right, let's take a look here at, oh, DJ, okay. Let's take a look here at some of these problems here. So let's look at number 5. So number 5 is a good question here. I'm going to kind of shrink it down so we can see it a little bit better. But number 5 here says, I'll make this thing. Here we go. Number 5 says, how many square inches of sheet metal are used to make the vent transition shown? The ends are open. So here we see we have an open end here for the air and then the open end here for the air. So that's perfectly fine. Okay, so in this particular instance, what should we try and find here if we're trying to figure out how many square inches of sheet metal are to be used for this figure? We have two options, okay? Our two options here, either we're finding the lateral surface area or we're finding out, wow, thanks, Maid. You subscribed again. You didn't have to subscribe again if you didn't want to. It's up to you, but oh man, that's really kind of you though. Super, super nice. Thank you so much. I'm glad I'm able to provide you some content, educational as it may be. All right, so we have two choices here. We have a lateral surface area or the volume. Which one are we going to use? Are we going to use the lateral surface area or the volume here for this particular figure? What do you think, guys and gals? I just bought this headset. This mic is brand new. I guess maybe the mic's just being off today. It was doing fine the other day. Maybe I'll get one of those stand mics so it'll be easier for you to hear me. Lateral, okay. The snowball is good. Okay. I'll check that one out. Lateral surface area is correct. Good. I don't see a problem. I just listened to myself. You know, you could probably hear the echo there, but yeah, I didn't think it was that bad. Is it like too strong though? I know it sounds a little robotic, I mind you. I'm a one-person army. Can't really do everything, but let's see if I just notch down a little. Maybe that's just to make it a little bit better. So it's not like overbearing on your ears. Okay. So lateral is correct, okay? So the reason why we need lateral is we need these outside things here for this transition. Since we don't have a base, okay, on either end, those are all both already pre-cut out so that we can make this vent transition. Now the question here becomes, do we have a regular pyramid or do we have a frustum of a pyramid? Which one do we have? Do we have a regular pyramid or a frustum? Okay. Yeah, after making those adjustments, hopefully it's just better. So do we have a regular pyramid or a frustum? That's the question. Okay, correct. We have a frustum of a pyramid because as you can see here, that's right, this top part here of this vent transition is cut off. Okay, so just like a step pyramid, it works the same way. So let's go back to our formula here on our notes, and then we'll take a look at the picture here. So I'm going to move this over a bit. Oh, I didn't want to do that, but here we go. Frustum, yes, that is right. Okay. Okay, so here's our picture, all right? Now, here's our lateral surface area. We need to find the upper perimeter, the lower perimeter, and the slant height. Okay, so let's see what we can do with this. Okay, so we'll put lateral surface area here, and we'll put the upper perimeter and lower perimeter. Do I do this for fun? Do I do this for fun, or is this a class? Well, the answer is both. Absolutely 1,000% both. I do this for fun, and it's a class. For fun because he's bored. I mean, technically you could kind of say that's true, but I'm going to be honest with you. It is for the love of the game. Ivan's got it correct. For the love of teaching. For the love of teaching, yeah. I love doing this job. I'm never bored doing this job, like ever. I get to goof around all day, and then they give you some money. They're like, hey, here's some money. I'm like, ah, cool. You give me money to facilitate information. I'm like, yeah. And you get telling me I'm going to have fun doing it? Yes. And I can make jabby comebacks at people? Yeah, that's a triple win right there. How can you say no to any of that? I mean, if you're not having fun at your job, then you're just not working. And then you're just working. You're working. The money, forget the money, my dude. You guys can take the money, okay? You guys can take the money, all right? I already told you guys first days. If you guys make more money than I do, I did my job, all right? That means you guys are better off than I am. I'll be very happy. Sorry to hear that. I mean, math is a pretty dry subject, but I try to have as much fun as possible, you know? Look, if you gotta do sometimes you gotta do tough things, okay? Sometimes you gotta do tough things in life, you gotta do the responsible things in life. And for those people who want to do those responsible things and tough things, and if I can be able to help them, yeah, then I'll be here to help them. You know, bringing everybody down doesn't help anybody, especially yourself. You know, positive progress, that's what we're here for. Right, everybody? Always positive progress. We're going to try and make it one step at a time. I just want people to enjoy themselves, learn a little bit, and, you know, be able to use that knowledge hopefully somewhere else in their life. That'll be cool. I'm down with this. All right, everybody. Let's find the, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it, Diego. It's all good. Remember, one thing that is always true. You're never going to satisfy everybody, no matter who you are, whether it's me or anyone else. Some people like me, some people don't. Okay, that's fair. You have your own reasons for liking me. You have your own reasons for disliking me. But you know what? You know, I just hope you the best for success. Don't feel bad, Diego. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody needs to defend me. It's just a matter of, you know, some people are just going to have that kind of attitude, and that's cool. No, it's not nice, but you know what? Here's the difference, okay? Let me state it this way. In this society today, people have a tough time taking criticism, right? Well, sometimes that criticism is warranted, and sometimes that criticism is not. I let people criticize me because sometimes that criticism is necessary for me to move forward, to do better. Sometimes it could be just plain mean and out of malice and out of pettiness. You could tell what the difference is, okay? People are smart enough to know that. So, I mean, sometimes you need to take that criticism and listen if you've had a pattern that clearly you can't identify, but others can. And then sometimes, sometimes you can call them out. That's perfectly fine too. So I take both into consideration. It's like, okay, that's cool. No problem. Don't have to be, no reason to be upset all the time. That's right. Keyword is balance. That's right, Gustavo. That's very true. Always a balance, always a balance. All right. Okay, so what's our upper perimeter according to this picture? What do we have here? Okay. What is the upper perimeter? So take the perimeter here. So if you look at this picture here very carefully, take a look at this upper part here. So this square area here, we have 7 inches. Again, this is a square because we have 7 and 7 here. So what would be the perimeter of this cutout transition here? Not quite here, Gustavo. Remember, we're talking perimeter. So with perimeter, remember, we're adding up the sides on the outside. Okay? So if you take a look here, we have 7 and 7, and this is a square, so all these sides are equal. So we have 7, 7, 7, and 7, just like so. So the upper perimeter would be 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. Oh, okay, I see what you did there. Yeah. So it would be 28. That's right. That's right. It would be 28. Because I'm looking at the square as my top cut there. So it's like if I put the figure there on its side, and I kind of had it, with its right angle like this. So yeah, I make that square cut on the top. So that's going to be 28 inches of perimeter that I cut off there. And the same thing applies here, but this time though, of course, it's a little bit wider on this transition. So what would be the perimeter for the bottom of this figure? What would be the perimeter for the bottom? Now, that's fine. It's about getting the correct perspective. So that can be tough right there. So don't worry about it. It happens. 36. That's correct. Okay. So 36 is correct. So now that we have that, and we also have the slant height. So the slant height here, as you can clearly see, is 12. Okay, that's not too hard, right off the figure. So if we take our guy here, why don't I put height here? That's so weird. Okay, I'm weird. All right. If we take our thing here, our lateral surface area is going to take our upper plus lower perimeter, so 28 plus 36. Forgot the 1/2 in the front. Let's put that in. All right, so whatever that is. And then our slant height here of 12 is what we're going to do next. And let's do that on the calculator there. So 1/2, and then in parentheses, again, 28 plus 36, and then in parentheses, another 12. Refresh, Ivan. So we get 384. That's correct. Cool. Okay, now one thing I do want to point out here is that this is going to be square inches, okay? Not cubic inches, but square inches, okay? You actually just did two multiplications here. The 1/2 is automatically part of the formula, but doesn't have units attached to it. You have inches times inches here, so square inches for our lateral surface area. Okay, questions about that? Any questions? No? Okay. Jeez. Didn't know it was so epic, but now Gustavus told me as such. mm. I see. All right. All right. Diego, no. Okay, good. Diego and Ivan, no. All right. So let's go to the last section here in Chapter 9. Like I said, we're not doing the last part of 9. We're not doing 9.4. We're going to do 9.1, 9.2, 9.3 here today. All right, so section 9.3 talks about the cylinders and spheres, okay? So we know cylinders rather well. I think most of you have seen a cylinder. Okay, like if a Coke can was perfectly flat, that would be a cylinder. Okay, so like the old school, Coke cans. Let's see if I can find one here. Yeah, you're talking like super old school, not the new ones, but the old ones. So like these, yeah, these ones here with the little top here. That's a cylinder. They don't make them like that anymore, but you get the idea. So that's how pop cans were back in the day. Replay. Um, so what you could do here is actually figure out how much was in, how much material you needed. For example, how much aluminum you needed to make this particular Coke can. Okay. So one of the things that was important, of course, is if you're an engineer and you're trying to cut cost, okay, then engineering this can of Coke, for example, is incredibly important because when you think about it, you're making millions and millions and millions of this can all the time, and things that you want to save money on is especially, how many cans can you ship out, exactly how that can be packaged, okay, how many pallets can you fit on a truck. Although it seems weird, if you ever question how many times, right? You ever question you get an item, right, and then you take it out of the box, and it's all packed really weird, right? It's just packed in such a weird way where this part is here, and you're like, why is this here and this is there? Well, actually, that's more to do with saving costs and actually figuring out how many pallets that you can put on a truck. If you're off by just 1 inch and that's one less pallet, well, guess what? You could be losing millions of dollars because of that fact. That's actually a big deal. So that does mean a lot of money on the line if you don't engineer it correctly. So one of those things, certainly a thing. All right. Well, in any case, Gustavo fought on a fun fact today. That's good. All right. So let's talk about cylinders here first, and let's look at the two things here for lateral surface area and volume. So the lateral surface area here is going to be equal to 2 times pi times the radius. So again, just our circumference here times the height of that particular cylinder. Volume here. Now again, you could put diameter here, but like I said, I prefer that you guys use radius. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, my fault. Yeah. Let me make you a mod. There you go. Let's get you there, buddy. Oh, baby. If you have like a link to share, then you can share that link. The guy who invented Flaming Hot Cheetos was a janitor. Okay. Wait, didn't you mention that? Okay, never mind, never mind. I'm going to write this down while you're sharing that link. All right. Let's see here. What's the volume here? It's going to be pi radius squared. So pi times radius squared, and this times height. Okay. Okay, so pi r squared h. And finally, you can find total surface area if you wanted to. It's not really all that hard. Total surface area is going to be 2 pi rh plus, all right, good stuff. I respect the hustle. There's no such thing as just a janitor. No, there is not. No, that's fair. If you needed to share, I have no problem with that. I think that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that at all. I have a lot of fun facts that I can share with you guys. So 2 pi rh, and then you can add in, let's see here, right, 2 pi r squared h. So all right. So lateral surface area, volume, and total surface area. Here are the cylinders here in this particular case. We'll also talk about spheres as well, which has a slightly different one. So let's at least talk about that one here as well. Again, I'm not expecting you guys to memorize these formulas. I'm expecting them just like before. I have a full expectation that you'll just use them, and then that's it. So that's no big deal. All right, so let's talk about area here first. So area equals 4 pi r squared. Okay. So 4 pi r squared, or another way you can actually express for spheres is going to be pi times diameter squared. This is actually one of the times where diameter may be a bit easier. Again, most of the time we're using radius. It's just the standard MO. All right, next is going to be volume. So volume here is going to be, it's much easier with radius. So that's going to be 4/3 pi r cubed. So 4/3 pi r cubed is volume. Okay, if you want to use, for example, here, the other one. Well, it's a little bit more. It's in my opinion, it's a little messy. So that's going to be pi times diameter cubed divided by 6. So that's with the diameter in there. Again, it's not the greatest Diameter's a little more awkward to work with than radius, in my opinion. Okay, so that's for both cylinders and spheres. Now, what we're going to need to do here is, of course, do some questions. Okay, so let's do some examples here, and let's see exactly how we can attack some of these problems. So I'm gonna, you guys, make sure you have these. If you're gonna have notes, at least make sure you have these in your notes. We're gonna come back to these in our book questions. So let's go ahead and do them right now. Where did I put that? Not there. Oh, there. Okay, it's on this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go to page 641. All right. So okay, there's one I want to do here on this page. Where are you? Oh, okay, there you are. That's the one I want to do. Okay, so this one here is pretty realistic, so I like to do this one here first. Just had to find that problem there. So think of like a oil tank or septic tank, if you want to kind of think of it that way. So let's do the septic tank one because I think that one's very realistic. So it says a septic tank here is shown in the figure. How many gallons does it hold? So here's a septic tank. Okay. Again, if you need to build a septic tank and you say, well, how many gallons should it hold before you call them out and get it drained and and or cleaned or whatever the case may be. Well, okay. There's definitely a way to figure that out. So it's similar to the problem that we had earlier, where we had 1 cubic foot is 7.48 gallons. But if you notice here in this particular case, notice that our dimensions here are going to be a little bit different. Notice that they're in feet and inches. Notice that our guy here is in cubic feet. So don't forget one thing here that we do have to do is we want to convert 3 feet 6 inches into feet only, and 5 foot 9 inches also into feet only. We don't want them in inches, we want them in feet, so we can directly do the conversion there at the end of the problem. So remember, as we talked about before, context was very important. This is definitely one of those context type of problems, okay, for sure. Now, the question becomes is that, okay, if this is the shape of the septic tank here, according to problem number 13, what exactly are we trying to find? Are we trying to find the surface area of the tank, or are we trying to find the volume of this tank? Okay, that's right, Ivan. Yeah, we don't care about the the lengths. We care about the lengths of the tank in terms of its dimensions. But the volume here is essentially what we're trying to find. We're trying to find how much waste is it going to hold, if we built a septic tank this way. All right. So let's see how much waste it can hold, depending on the dimensions that were given here in this instance. Okay. So first and foremost here, as part of this problem, let's get out the paint tool here once again. Okay. Now, let's take a look at our figure here, and we're going to just do this very slowly. So let's do 5 foot 9. So again, let's put that as a decimal, because it's a lot easier if we just put it as decimals in terms of feet. What's 5 foot 9 in terms of a decimal? 5.75. Good. That's right. And how about 3 foot 6? About 3.6. 3.5. Good. That's right. Nice. All right. Okay, now let's talk about what we need to do here. Okay, so here we can see that the diagram here is very good. Okay, it's very good in terms of saying, all right, well, you got a cylinder there in the middle, and then you see it kind of hold out, and you got the two spherical ends of this particular septic tank. So the question is, if we're trying to find the volume of this figure, what should we do? What would be a good idea here to find the volume of this particular figure? How can we make this easier on ourselves? How can we make this easier on ourselves? What should we do? What do you think we could do? Okay, multiply? Well, I mean, we are going to do multiplication, but we want to find the volume of this whole figure here. What do you think would be, I mean, I agree, multiplication is part of the process. It's just not exactly what I was looking for there in that case. So take a look at what we have here, okay? So the reason why I wanted to point this out, we're going to add, yes. We're going to multiply and add here. I'm going to combine both of those answers. You're probably saying, well, where are we going to go with this? Well, again, take a look here. We have a cylindrical part here, okay? So we have a cylindrical part right here, all right? And we have two hemispherical parts right here. So we first want to find the volume of the cylindrical part, and then we'll find the volume of the two hemispherical parts, and then combine those values there together to get the total volume of this particular shape. So that's the strategy for success in this problem here, is we want to find the volume of first the cylinder without the tops, and that's okay, it doesn't matter. And then find the volume of the two the hemispheres here, and then we'll go put it all together at the end. So let's go back to our thing here for just a second. Put this away. We'll go back to our formulas here. Okay, so as we see here, volume is pi times radius squared, all right, times the height. So let's take a good look here. Let's look at the cylinder part of this tank. All right. So let's just follow it. We have pi, and then we have a radius of some type, and we have a height of some type. So we're going to square that radius, whatever it is, and we're going to have some kind of height here, whatever that is. Let's go back to the picture. Okay. Let's go back to the picture here, and let's see what we're working with. So that's why. Okay. Let me change this around. Okay. So there you see number 13 on the left. All right. So can anybody tell me what's the radius? What is the radius of this cylinder part? What is the radius here that we see here? What's the radius? What's our radius here? What do you guys think is the radius here? 1.75 is correct. Very good. That's right. So notice this is 3.5 feet. but this 3.5 feet represents the full diameter right along the cylinder here. So if we take, again, radius here is diameter divided by 2. So in this case here, our radius is exactly 3.5 divided by 2. So as correctly stated by Ivan and Gustavo, 1.75 is correct. Now, of course, by process of automatic elimination, that means our height here is going to be 5.75. All right, so this is the volume of the cylinder part. We're going to get to this answer here shortly, but we also need to include the 2 hemispheres that we have attached as part of our septic tank. So let's talk about the 2 hemispheres, or just the sphere. Well, I'll just say hemispheres, I guess, since there are 2 of them. Oops. All right. So let's go over our, in this case, volume. So our volume here specifically for a hemisphere, going over that again, just have to be a little careful because we do have half a sphere. So that's going to be, again, taking 4/3, and then we divide it by 2, and then we take pi r cubed. Now, since we have 2 of them, then what we're going to do is we're just going to do, since we're going to take 2 of them, we're just going to do this, basically, we have 2 of them, then this is going to equal a whole sphere, since they're both the same dimension. Okay, and we can take the same radius that we had from before, so we have 4 pi times 1.75 cubed divided by 3. And now, on your calculator, just like was suggested, we're going to take our volume of our cylinder, and we're going to add it to the volume of our hemispheres, which is this, and then we're going to see what we get here in this particular case. So does anybody have an answer for me here? We wouldn't be quite done, but we're getting close to it. But let's see what people got. You mean like this, to make it bigger? Yeah, okay. Well, I like the final answer after adding these 2 things together. So we're going to take this, and we're going to add it to this. And we're going to get an answer for that. Anybody got an answer for me here? What's our final answer after adding those two things together? 122.669. Let me see. Did I? Yeah, you gotta divide by 2. Or unless you did divide by 2 there. Yeah, divide by 2. Maybe you'll get something different. So, 77.77. They also got 77.77. Okay. Let me check what I did, and I need to see if I messed up somewhere. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Well, I'm supposed to make you think. It's like part of my job. Okay. Well, that's the purpose. I have to give you one tough problem, guys. That's the natural thing I gotta do. Okay, nope, you're doing it just fine. I think I just entered something in wrong. I'm just gonna go out to a few more decimal places, because we just need to go ahead and the last part here is for us to convert this into, remember this is going to be cubic feet. Okay, so we're going to convert cubic feet into gallons. So we'll take that 77.77078. All right. And we're going to multiply that by 7.48. This is for the gallons here. On 1 cubic foot. Okay. And let's go ahead and multiply that out. Okay, so we get 581.725 gallons of waste is what this can hold. All right, very nice. All right, any questions about that one? All right, let's go ahead and do one more here. Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, so last one here for the day. Okay. So we're going to do problem 22 here. So let's talk about that one. All right. So the metal silo shown in the figure has a hemispherical top. It is to be painted with exterior weatherproofing paint. If a gallon of this paint covers 280 square feet, how much paint is needed for 2 coats? Do not include the bottom of the silo. Okay, and that's fair. All right, round our answer to the nearest gallon. All right. So let's go ahead and see how we can met this out. Now, realistically, a gallon of paint covering 280 square feet is quite a remarkable thing. So, yeah. I haven't heard of that before either. So, in any case, what are we trying to find here? Okay, let's answer that question here. What are we trying to find? Are we trying to find volume, or are we trying to find surface area? What are we trying to find here for this problem? Okay, surface area. Now, are we trying to find total surface area or lateral surface area? So that's the question. Are we trying to find lateral or total surface area? Don't forget here, one of the big keys, there's a big clue in here to tell you which one. Lateral plus a half. Well, actually, it's just the lateral. Think of it this way. You're taking the lateral because it's all the outside of the figure. You're not actually you're not painting the inside here of this silo. You're not painting the bottom of that either. So you need, and again, that would be the lateral area of this part of the silo, and that'd be the lateral area of that hemispherical part of the silo. So the half part there will come from the hemisphere, yes, but it's just going to be the lateral surface area that we want to clue in on. So let's go ahead and see exactly what we're working with here. All right, so let's draw this picture here. Let's go with this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, there we go. Got it. All right. So as we can see here, from here up to here is going to be 38. And this part here is 18. Okay, fine. Okay, so let's talk about, I'm going to label this piece number 1. We're trying to find the lateral surface area, and piece number 2 up here, no problem. All right. So with piece number 1 and piece number 2, let's look at the cylindrical part here, okay? So let's go back to our formulas here. So the cylinder part here, let's go ahead and say we have 2 pi times the radius times the height. Okay, so we need to be a little careful about this, but let's find out what the radius and the height are going to be. All right, so our lateral surface area here is 2 pi times the radius. Now, what is the radius here of the cylinder? What's the radius here? What's the radius of this figure? That's correct. The radius is 9. If this bottom part is 18, then basically taking half of that from here to here, that's going to be a length of 9. So a radius, again, being 18 divided by 2. Okay, so that's correct. So yeah, that times 9. And what's the height? What's the height of the cylinder? What is the height of the cylinder? the height of that cylinder is going to be? There's a way you can tell. Unfortunately, the height of the cylinder is not 38. Because 38 is from the base of the silo all the way to the very top. All right, this one's a little tricky, I will admit. This one's a bit tricky. But that's why we're doing this one. Think of it this way. You had said that this radius here is 9 because from the center of this bottom to the outside here would be 9. All right, 9 feet. What if I took this middle part here, the center of this sphere, I brought it out to somewhere out here? Then the radius of that is also going to be 9. Okay, so from here to the top will be 9. So all you need to do for your height here, it will be 38 minus your 9. And that will equal 29. So that's exactly how you get your height there in that instance. So yeah, I know that part's the tricky part there, because it's like saying, okay, now you know that the radius is 9. Well, again, it's tantamount to, again, just having, you didn't have this. So maybe a bit easier if I drew it like this. You know, it kind of went up, and then you say, okay, well, this is 9 here. So okay. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and find out what the lateral surface area of this first part is. So let's do that on the calculator. 2 times pi times 9 times 29. All right, what do we get there? Okay, good, good. So we get 1639. All right, 0.911635. 365, sorry. You're right. Okay. So far, so good. So that's part 1. Let's look at part 2. Okay, so let's look at part 2. So part 2 is the hemisphere here. So now, with the hemisphere, looking back at our formula, our hemisphere has a volume of 4/3 times pi r cubed divided by 3, or again, using pi d cubed divided by 6. Either way, you're going to find your thing here. So let's just use the first one there. So we have our volume here. Let me go back here. Okay, so 4/3 pi r cubed. So we're going to have here so our radius here is already 9. That's been established. We're going to cube that. And then since it's a hemisphere, we're dividing all of that by 2, okay, because it's a hemisphere and not a full sphere. Okay, so we're going to get an answer for that. So let's plug that in the calculator, and let's see what we get. And tell me what you get there. I'll wait for your answer here. Okay, 1526.824, good, or 0.814, correct. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to add both of these together. We're going to add the cylinder and the there. All right, so both of you, perfectly fine. So let's add those together. So we have 1639.911365. We'll add that to 1526.814. Okay, so let's add those together, and we get okay, good, 72539. All right, so now we're just going to divide that by 280 because each gallon covers 280 square feet for whatever reason. So I think it said 280. Yeah, 280. So you're going to get 11.31 gallons. That's what you should have gotten. And then we have to round up because we can only buy whole gallons at a time. So we need 12 gallons of this paint. Actually, hang on a second. Is that true? How many coats do we need? Let me check. Oh, we need 2 coats. Oh, never mind. Let me undo that. I got to multiply that by 2 first. My bad. My bad on that. Got to multiply that by 2 because we have 2 coats. So 22.62 gallons is what we need. So this will be approximately 23 gallons at the end of the day. Yeah. Okay. So we need 23 gallons of paint there at the end of the day. Right. Exactly. Yeah, I forgot the 2 coats there. I don't want to add that at the end. You actually, if you're trying to save money, then you want as few gallons as possible. So we're just making sure we have that. Okay, good. Are there any questions about that? Okay. All right. All right. Good job, everybody, here today. All right. If there are no more questions. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out today. I'm sorry my mic kind of sucks, but it is a new mic, so hopefully you got used to it. I hope. Question mark. So, yeah. Hopefully it'll be all right. I hope you got used to it anyway. All right. In any case, I want to thank everybody here who came out to the stream here once again here today. All of you are All of you are very important, and again, you know, this doesn't happen without you guys. I hope you learned something today. Thank you for being there for Toast as well. I think he needed that encouragement and stuff, so really appreciate that, very much so. All right. So we will be back to do Chapter 10 on Wednesday, and then I'm going to be talking about trigonometry that day. Yes, so I'm going to talk about the final test and the final exam for the people who are in the 8-week class, okay? So I will be talking about that all on Wednesday, all right? So I will have some important announcements for you then about when you'll need to finish the second test and the final exam, as well as the homework if you are in the 8-week course. If you are in the 16-week course, I will also have an announcement for you as well, but that will be for the first exam and not the second test or the final. Okay? So I'll be answering all those questions there on Wednesday. I just want to be sure I have all the material done before I make any announcements. So that's the first thing on my agenda. Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Yes, you have yourself a wonderful afternoon/evening. All right, you as well, Gustavo. Thank you very much, Diego. Thank you very much, Ivan. Thank you very much, everybody else. I really appreciate it very much. All right, all of you were kind. All right. Stay safe, stay healthy, everybody. You have a great one. All right. Take care, everybody. All right, we'll see you later. All right. Bye.